Hey guys, welcome to the commentary video of me playing the smaller Tibetan bowls. It's pretty simple, just going to be going over some of the techniques that I do. There is a multitude of ways that you can play any of these instruments, none of which what I'm doing is perfect, nor is it the best way. So you can just use this as a little bit of inspiration. Hopefully it can trigger some of your own creativity to, how to work with these. So the first thing you're going to notice is the cadence in which I am actually playing them. Sometimes I notice people when they're playing any kind of bowl, they're just hitting them too much. Allowing space for the sounds to resonate is really important. And that right there may not have seemed like a big hit, but it was a big hit comparatively to the one that I did when I was right beside the ear. Might be hard to translate when you're listening through headphones or through a speaker, but you want to do the bigger hits away from the ears, much smaller, lighter hits closer to the ears. And then from there, I'm just kind of going from side to side, so you're getting a binaural sound when you're listening, especially in person, but if you have headphones on, you should also be able to hear that here. Then from time to time switching the mallet, so that creates a softer hit. There's more fabric or yarn, whatever's on the end there, than this one, which has wood and suede. This might not be as noticeable to you, but it will be in person, and it will be the more you play your bowls. Since there's only so many ways you can play bowls, having a variety of mallets is really, really important. If you already play sound bowls, you will already know that it's easier to start playing it on the rim once the bowl has been played, so it's already vibrating. Then you start playing it on the rim, as opposed to starting the sound from scratch, which it's nice to catch it while it's still vibrating a bit, so that you don't have to do so much, effort. And now you can just see I'm just going back and forth, creating a little bit of a nice dun, 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 dun. But when I go back and forth a few times, I always leave space at some point. With all of the sounds, there's an idea, there's a philosophy behind accentuating the silence, not just creating a bunch of sounds, right? We're accentuating the silence because that's the place we want to bring people to in their experience. If you're doing sound healing and you haven't accessed a quiet or silent mind, you may want to do some, let's say, studying of Eastern spirituality, where the whole philosophy is around, bringing your mind to a quiet place. If you're just grabbing a bowl and you're just getting into this and you don't really know where, what this whole thing is about, certainly one of the biggest things that we can do for our clients is to be an example and to have already walked a little bit further along this path. So that might mean using our bowl consistently before bed so that we can see the quantifiable and tangible effects, but then also doing additional practices, because the more knowledgeable that we are, first of all, it's going to benefit us and it's going to benefit them depending on what they're coming to see you for. And if they're speaking a language that you don't understand, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, they are going to feel out of resonance with you. So if I'm speaking to a teacher, let's say my experience I had speaking to a teacher and asking them about different concepts that are really, really, really important to me and valuable to me. that teacher, I've had this happen with almost all teachers, that I just like eventually can't resonate. There's only so much I can learn from them before I go, well, this isn't the person that's going to help me get to the next step of this journey, because I have a specific goal, right? And there are only so many goals of people that are going to be looking for healing and going to be called to sound healing as a path. So if you are the type of person that wants to learn more about this, I just suggest looking up, probably Advaita Vedanta. That is a very good, way to kind of comprehend a lot of this stuff. Just overall Buddhism, study a book about Buddhism, that will be very helpful too. You don't have to be an expert doing these practices all the time in order to speak the lingo and find your own relationship to what this means to you, right? Especially words like enlightenment, which can be very taboo and people not really understand. Not saying you should be an authority and speak on that by any means, but what you can do is understand when someone is presenting that concept and have some sort of a response, which is in understanding, in a know-how, and then also relating it to how the bowls have benefited you along that path. And along all paths of Eastern spirituality, the quieting of the mind is one of the big things. And along the path of Western psychology, which, let's say someone's like, I want to heal trauma. Well, what you can be saying is that this space can be used to create a very safe place for you to be going into that on your own and be going into your subconscious and unconscious. It can also bring us into natural altered states that are going to help us to remember things and to address them from a very calm state, right? So these are both, we could use spectrums. Like Western has more of like a doership, and Eastern spirituality is a little bit more passive, masculine, feminine, different ways to look at that concept, which if you are in this role of wanting to serve people, knowing a little bit about each of those is going to be really important. Most of you probably already do, but and that's that. The very end of each instrument, you allow a nice long fade so that the sound ends. When that sound ends, there is going to be a much more powerful and tangible silence after you've heard all of these sounds. When the silence arrives, it's really, really powerful. All right, so this was your video about the small Tibetan bowls. We are going to go into the next video now. See you there.